online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
A secret, can you keep it? Swear this from you say that I lock it in your pocket.
I feel like it's always a sing-along on my shows. It's amazing, and I love it. So much fun. Well, hello, AfterBuzzers. We're here doing, obviously, another Pretty Little Liars after show for you all. It's season 5, and this episode's called London Falling. We're streaming live on YouTube, as we do every Tuesday at 9. You can always find us on YouTube at youtube.com/AfterBuzzTV, as well as on SoundCloud and iTunes. This is definitely a show with a lot going on, so tweet at us, tell us your theories, everything that's going on. I want to hear from you. Use the hashtag ABTVPLL, and you can tweet at me directly at Stephanie Wenger.
You can tweet at me at Kristin Strange, and please tweet us your theories because they make my day every day.
And you all can tweet at me at the Hotshot Dude.
And you can tweet at me at Heather Joy Smith.
This was a big episode. I felt like we kind of got a lot of tidbits that I feel like will help us as we get closer to that finale episode that's now a month away, as crazy as that is. Season 5 finale.
I thought it was so weird that all of a sudden the girls show up in prison and it's like, hey, best friend, how you been? I missed
So
you.
bizarre.
I was like, someone's changing their tune.
Yeah,
Let's
right?
not forget all
Yeah.
the other crappy stuff she did to you.
Well, not even that, but I was like, why isn't Allie more mad at them? They have thrown her legit under the bus. She's in jail right now, and they're visiting her, and all of a sudden they're like, hey, we're friends again though, right?
We're gonna get you out of here.
Yeah.
I was like, really?
I'm like, yeah, come on. Let's be real here.
Yeah.
You're not getting her out of jail.
No.
No, I also loved when Hannah was like, oh, I tried to bring you magazines, but they wouldn't let me. Like,
That's what you do when you accidentally put your friend in jail. That's courteous. You bring them magazines.
I was going to say, magazines make up for jail, right? That's totally something to do all day. No worries, guys. But I also just thought it was so strange that was where we started the episode, was that because I thought they were going to keep what Mike had revealed last week kind of a secret for a while, and then right at the beginning of the episode, we get that they're saying, like, Mike knew all of this about Mona, and I felt like rightfully so. She was saying, I want to go to my lawyers with this. Like, he's her get out of jail free card, as they mentioned.
At this point, it's every man for himself. So if I was Allie, I would have been like, I need to tell them, because he's the one that can say something. But she is, implicating Mike, but she's innocent now, we've found out, and Mike did something wrong. So, I feel like that's fair for her to use that.
Absolutely, and at this point, I feel like Allie deserves a get out of jail card. Like, it's absolutely crazy to me what all she has been through, and from even having to leave town to begin with, and everything that she's done for the girls, which I do ultimately feel like she has done everything she has at the root of it all for these girls, and then they threw her in prison or in jail or whatever it is, and now she's forgiving them, and they're letting her know that she has a way to get out, that somebody has basically withheld information, and she could get out, and they're all like, no, don't do it.
That's what made me so upset, was as a friend, if you're there as a friend, which I know we're questioning, why are you're still protecting your brother? It just felt so strange to me to be like, wait, we're telling you this, but please protect my brother on the flip side. Like, I was just like, why reveal that? Also, it felt like too little too late when she went to, when Aria went to Spencer's mom and was like, what happens when someone, had this information about a big case? And she's like, well, they would be in big trouble if they're withholding from police. And I was like, why would you not go to Spencer's mom first before you reveal this to Allie? You put your brother
in
in so much danger.
I feel like it could come back to haunt her for doing that. I just don't feel like she's somebody that we can fully trust with that information.
No, I agree with you. But we saw, because I know we talked about, is Mike good or bad, and where does he lie on that scale? And we saw that someone is now after Mike in his weights. We saw last week that someone was in the weight room, and then we saw the results of it this week with...
Apparently they did more than just pick up the 10-pounder.
I know. I was like, wow, getting some exercise in. Gonna go beat someone up? No, they undid the bolts and screws and made it, I guess they didn't match anymore. And it would have killed him is the result, according to Andrew, if he had been working out using it.
I'm surprised Arya held it together that much. If that was me, I would have broken down. I could not.
I know.
I couldn't handle that.
I would have been angry.
So angry.
I would have been mad.
Yeah, if you try to hurt my brother, I would legitimately freak out. So I'm surprised that she was just crying. I was like waiting for her to like.
I wonder if she was almost like kind of relieved the fact that it happened to her and not him. And so like that, it was like almost half anger, half being relieved, half she's in pain. You know, like it's just all these emotions.
Half like worried for the future.
Yeah, so maybe it just was kind of like, I don't really know.
Well, I mean, she had, and not to say a sprained ankle is not frustrating and annoying, but like if it could kill her brother and the result of her being injured was a sprained ankle, like I'd obviously totally take the sprained ankle. So maybe it was like, well, at least I caught it. And what was she trying to get above?
That's what I was wondering.
His baseball schedule.
Was that really what it was?
I don't know, but that's what she claimed it was.
Okay, because she was like, maybe he's out of the house climbing up. No, I didn't think it was actually a baseball schedule, if that's what she claimed. I was wondering if she was looking for, we saw like the baggies of what I think candy is what Cody claimed it was.
Going back to the candy.
Yeah, what was she looking for up there? That's something you can definitely tweet at us, let us know what you're thinking, or of course comment on YouTube as well, because I wasn't sure, to be honest.
And who has a dartboard up that high?
Yeah.
Nobody's throwing darts that high.
This episode made me feel like one of those 4 girls is definitely A. Because, because it's just like, look at all the power they have over Allie. They all have motive. They've all gotten, I mean, Allie's in jail now, and obviously now we're finding out, okay, she was innocent. So who has the motive? Like, and they're the ones that are still, like, preventing her from getting out. They ruined all her evidence. It's like, I don't know, I think that one of them is A, and it's just kind of like subconsciously leading the group to this like detrimental ending for Allie.
So do you think then, like, when these things that are horrible happen to them, are they doing it to themselves to kind of like hide the fact that they're
Well, I mean, A's got to have some backlash.
I was taking notes like a crazy person trying to figure out my theory. Like, I feel like
I was sitting next to you, and you were going,
well, because
go for it.
we're getting close to the end here when we're supposed to get a big reveal. So now I'm like, well, now to start doing my real homework and figuring this out and piecing everything together, because I want to have a legit theory when it comes out, instead of every week being like, well, now I think it's this person, now I think it's this person. I don't really
Do you
know.
want to jump into that, or do you want to wait for predictions?
Well, because I feel like all of the things that I used as clues in this one are things that we are going to talk about as the show progresses.
Then we'll hold off
until the end.
Hold off on that for sure then. I do have to say that I know we've pointed the finger at the different girls at various points. I am relatively certain from the news and gossip we've had in the past that cast members have said that you'll be able to look back and see the clues of who A is. So I do think it is someone from season 1. If it's one of the 4 girls, that would be shocking, and I would be kind of heartbroken by that. But I do have to say that I think it's someone from season 1.
Exciting.
No.
And possibly the pilot. Like, I think it's someone we've known for the entire 5 seasons.
Yeah, I do too. I don't think it's a new character.
Yeah.
I think that would be unfair to fans to see that.
Yeah, because I feel like for so long we've all been putting together the clues. So why do
Bring
that?
someone in like season 3 and
Don't pull a How I Met Your Mother. Love How I Met Your Mother, but just don't pull a How I Met Your Mother in this particular situation. Like, I would much rather have it be a Gossip Girl situation where, oh wait, you can see
It's
how
Dan,
how it all played out. But we should also get into Arya, and because it does relate into who A is. going to the hospital to visit with Hannah to
Hank Maloney,
aka Cyrus.
I totally thought it was gonna be someone else. I thought Hank Maloney. I was like, it's gonna be Jason. It wasn't though.
No.
It was actually
I thought it was gonna be somebody else too. I thought that was like an A code name. I didn't catch that it was him. I was still confused up until the moment they were walking in. I kept looking at somebody. I was like, wait, so are they visiting Cyrus or are they visiting Hank? Or wait, no, they're. Cyrus is Hank? Who? What?
And I think I had turned to you at one point and I was like, Cyrus is Hank.
Cyrus is Hank in the burn unit. So if you didn't get that, that's where we're going.
Yeah. And that was pretty brutal looking.
Yeah, okay. Can we just say that being in a burn unit is gruesome? There was a lot of gruesome moments. Again, ABC Family, what's happening? But gruesome. And the burn unit, and then and it takes a lot to creep me out. But when the other patient stood up over,
I was like, no, we can't do that. We can't do that. That's no.
It was super creepy.
Yeah,
and then they had the black pants on under their tape. I was like, what?
Yeah. And he tries to give the girls a clue about who A is, and at first they think it says Carjack, but it's actually Varjack.
Which is it Ben Varjack is the actual, or what's the character? Paul Varjack.
Paul Varjack. And so they realize he misspelt it. So they're thinking that he actually spoke to A rather than emailing with A, which they seemed very excited about because I guess it gets them, again, that step closer to A.
To figuring out who it was.
What did you think about that? Do you think that they're interpreting it properly and that it's Varjack, or was it a card? I wasn't sure, because I know that they're assuming it's Varjack now, but I still have questions.
When they said carjack, I'm like, why would you be burned so badly then if it was a carjack? So that didn't really make sense. But the whole, misspelling and all of that, I don't know if we're reading into it and they're reading into it too much. Maybe he's just a bad speller. I mean,
yeah.
He is on a lot of drugs, I bet. So you got to give him some kind of handicap there.
And why was the other patient standing over him?
I don't know, but that was
I think he was trying to kill him.
Maybe that was Varjack.
Well, what I started to wonder was the nurse seemed so concerned about everybody who was visiting and what you were touching and all of that. I wanted to know who was in on it. And I know that I shouldn't jump on the nurse and be like, are you involved?
Yeah, maybe
did she
just
let
a good nurse.
Yeah, I know, exactly. I hope she was just a good nurse. But do you think that she let a fake patient in because he was all wrapped up, but he could walk, so he wasn't getting IV? I started to go really in depth and
snuck in.
Yeah, I think it's A, so I think A could have gotten past B, that crazy nurse.
So you don't think the nurse was involved? No. But you just think good nurse, but A snuck in.
Bad A.
Yeah.
Good nurse,
it has to be somebody who has access to the hospital. That wouldn't be suspicious, and they're getting in there.
But I mean, A has access to everywhere. So let's what's not to say that they have access everywhere. So it's
But I'm trying to start thinking realistically who would have access to these places.
Yeah. But I feel like nothing about A is realistic, so you can't.
It's so true. I'm with you on that one.
I want to think realistically too. Realistically, who could get into a hospital? But realistically, who just has a couple $100,000 sitting around to make all these plans work?
So A gets into everywhere, so it doesn't matter how locked down security it is. They're gonna get in.
One of our old co-hosts here, Kelly, always thought that it was someone was always someone in the medical, facilities, whether that was at the hospital or at the mental institution, at Radley. I wanted to say Radloff, and I was like, that's not it. Radley. And so I feel like that could be
That's definitely plausible.
I don't know. It'll be interesting. But then I start to think about who has been around, what doctors have been around the entire time.
Ren. That's it.
Yeah. Good, interesting thought, though. I don't know. I just had to bring it up.
Ren's in England now.
Well,
so
he wasn't there.
He wasn't there.
That's true.
Yeah. We never saw him tonight.
And Melissa's always been kind of shady.
He's so sexy.
He is.
I just had to put that out there.
We'll get into the London visit in a second. Yeah, that's a separate. But Andrew and Aria is something that I did want to touch on before we move on to the other characters.
When he kissed her, or when he like tried to, like they were like really close and they were like licking each other's eyes, I was like, don't try to kiss her. She's not going to kiss you back. And then she did.
Yeah. I mean, I felt like this entire episode was leading to that kiss for them. Like, you could see where it was going.
I liked it a lot more than I thought I would.
That's what we said.
Mm-hmm.
So
I was like, I'm okay with that.
It's so bizarre, but I think it's because we all know she's going to end up with Ezra, that it's kind of just fun to watch her have something.
And I do want her to explore her possibilities outside Ezra for a time being, because I think that she needs it. And she seems to like Andrew, and he seems to be a sweet guy. You know, he was like, here's my shoulder, cry on it. Like, you're just the cutest little thing.
Like his little short sleeve that barely came off of him.
No, I agree with you. And you know, I'm the biggest Aria and Ezra fan. Everybody who's been watching the show knows, like, big, huge fan of them. But I do feel like Andrew brings something different to the table. He's really protective of her in a way that kind of you never see. Ezra's always too involved in some ways. Like, he's always been a part of it and like trying to solve the clues, and that's protective in a different sort, but Andrew's like emotionally there for her.
And I feel like Andrew gives her the opportunity to be 17 or 18 or however old she is, to experience life in high school as a 17-year-old with a 17-year-old boyfriend, which is not something she's going to be able to experience with a 28-year-old boyfriend or however old he is.
I'm so ready to see Ezra's reaction to it, though.
Right.
Like, where has he
You know what,
been?
though? I think that he'll be okay with it.
I think he will, too.
Because I think he's coming from the place of, I want you to experience life as a 17-year-old, and I don't want to get in the way of it, and hurt your.
Because he just loves her.
So especially after the conversation they had about this whole situation, of her going off to college and experiencing things. So I don't want him to be okay with it, but I think he will be.
I don't even want him to be, just because I want him to remain this mature, perfect specimen.
Yes, exactly. Well said.
As long as Aria and Ezra are endgame, I'm fine with it. I don't really his reaction. Like, I could see him blowing up at it. I could see him being calm and taking it as an adult and whatever. But as long as they're together in the end, I'm happy. I think Andrew's a good choice for now, though.
Absolutely.
That's kind of where I'm at with it. I want to jump back to the jail for a moment and talk about Hannah's visit to see Allison. I thought it was interesting she didn't come with the other girls at the beginning of the episode.
She's a
traitor.
So now are we saying Hannah could be A now?
I'm not putting it past her. I'm not going to say yes yet. But I'm going to spend this weekend watching the first season.
Yeah, I was going to say,
and then I'll let you know next week.
Yeah.
I feel like we're going to have to build a chart somewhere.
Yeah.
And
we need a diagram,
if someone's really good on what do you call that, Photoshop or one of those design things on the computer that I don't know anything about, then do that, a little
I'm
diagram.
ready to have the red string across my bedroom.
I agree.
You have this board, and then you flip it around, and it's all these pictures.
I'm ready.
We could take it into the 21st century and make a poll and have you guys vote on Twitter what you're thinking.
Hey, that'd be fun.
Yes, I like that.
Maybe
do you know how to do that?
I think I do. So I think that
technology.
That is something we will work on in the next couple of weeks and have you guys vote and maybe reveal.
I love it.
On our
finale.
Yeah. Ooh. Love it. All right. So I want to get back to Hannah and Allison. I thought it was so strange that she was like, can we start over?
I was no, you can't.
That's
you
what I thought too.
Over.
It was like, no, stop.
I didn't feel that. I honestly feel bad for Allie. I really, really do. And I'm like, why is Allie the one doing all of this apologizing this whole time?
She is bad for her
jail.
I don't either.
I don't hate her, but I don't feel bad for her yet. I don't have enough information to feel bad for her.
I think I've felt bad for her ever since the moment that they did arrest her, and she was standing there about to get arrested, and it was 4 of them against the one of her when she was clearly apologizing to them and
she's been shady.
She has been shady, but I feel like it's all in a way to protect them. I think she knows more, and I do think she needs to tell them everything that she knows, but I don't think she has been doing anything really to throw them in harm's way purposefully. I don't know. I just feel like they need to be apologizing to her more than she needs to be apologizing to them right now. Which also, can we say that was a great performance by her?
Oh, by Allison?
Yes. I thought that was a really good scene. She pulled some real pretty, nice, streaming, natural tears out of there.
Good job on the tears. Crying.
No, I mean, I felt like all the girls, though, tonight in various ways, like, really upped their acting.
They did. They delivered.
No, I mean, I feel like Spencer, like, you saw some real emotion from her. Like, it's been a minute since we've seen, kind of other than fear, the girls go to these other, like, panicky, like, emotions, and it was nice to see tonight.
I was really sad that Spencer was so upset because her sister and Ren's flatmate was so hot. And he spoke with an accent. I was like, "You're single, kind of. This is a good. This is a good shot for you. You're in London. It doesn't count in London. That's what they said on Friends."
But I still like Johnny. I'm like,
but Johnny wasn't in this episode, so
I know. And are we really going to do away with Johnny? I'm really bummed about it.
No,
we can't do away with Johnny yet.
No way.
It's too soon.
No, I mean, I feel like this is the story right now of Spencer's many men.
The many men of Spencer Hastings.
Yeah, but because we still have Toby in the picture, and
oh my gosh.
But Toby's like picture is very small right now.
Yeah.
he's like fading into the background. But I mean, they have not officially. I guess kind of last week they ended it. But it's not there. I feel like he's not done.
But I feel like they're broken up enough that if she was gonna hook up with hot London guy, it would have been okay.
I mean, I think that's a personal call, but yeah. I was like, I don't know.
I feel like that's okay. They were broken up, right?
Maybe tweet at us. Let us know what you're thinking.
Let us know your thoughts.
Yeah. I don't know, though. I thought it was interesting that she went to London for this interview that Ren apparently set up for her. And when were they ever, like, that close for him to...
when they were making out.
Yeah, when they were making out back in the day.
But it's been a while. I don't feel like their relationship is good.
It was her mom's call, and he's with Melissa, and, you know...
Okay, I mean, I believe that it's like family.
Helping a sister-in-law out.
Yeah, it's so weird that there's
It's so bizarre.
Yeah, but okay, I get it. Like, it's all in the family. Sure, help. And so she gets this interview at Oxford that appears to be going real well. Like
she was turning it on.
Yeah, because
she's like, I'll add that to my knock jokes.
I mean, she was like extreme version, like college admissions interview extreme,
and
right
she
there.
looked like an Oxford student with her like blazer.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, because
I think she always kind of does.
She always. That's what I thought. I was like, oh, did she come in an outfit? I was like, no, wait, that's what she always wears.
Yeah, Colin seemed really concerned about her because she was like trying to text and not focused on it. I was like, no, this is Spencer. We know she's gonna go in there and knock it out of the park unless A does something. And of course A did. These girls, I'm worried about their futures now.
If that was me in the Oxford interview, I'd been like, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. I had my red dye water.
That's what I was like, something else.
I'd be like, it's this thing that I take to speed up my metabolism and make my mind more focused. I don't know. I would have made something up.
Yeah.
You don't just like run out of there like, oh my God, blood.
Nail polish.
Yeah, food in there, something
Yeah,
spilled.
like let me clean this up for you.
So I agree.
Blood in my purse.
Yeah.
It was Halloween. I was at a party. I'm sorry.
I totally agree that like I would try to come up with something, but I think if you have blood on your hands, like that is a hard thing to be like, oh, it's nail polish. This is what nail polish looks like. I think that is a hard thing to lie about, and she's probably so panicked.
I know, but this is Oxford. Like she ruined Oxford.
She ruined Oxford.
No, A ruined Oxford for her. I mean, that's what it's boiling down to.
A ruined Oxford, but Spencer could have turned that around. It's a little white lie, you know, just figure it out.
She could have. And, well, I don't know. In my mind, I kept being like, okay, you should own up to being like, I don't know how this blood and whose blood this is and how this got in my purse. Can we do a test on this chair and see, like, whose blood? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or what type of blood or something like that. Because I'm like, somebody's human blood is all over this, and she doesn't even know whose blood it is.
I was going to say, could it be the girl's blood that we saw a few weeks ago that Mona's or because they stole it from the
Arya's or
because
Spencer's.
That's the only blood that we've seen, really. Mm-hmm. So otherwise, it is a good question though. Whose blood ends up in a bag, and Also, why did they not catch it at security? Like, that was
TSA's not doing their job.
But, I mean, he throws a major... like, the logical part of my head was really disturbed by this.
That would never happen.
Yeah.
Well, it was under, like, what, 2 fluid ounces?
I was going to say, is blood not allowed to be taken on planes? I've never heard that.
I have not explored that
sorry, guys.
No, that's okay. Hope you're doing all right. No, I think that it's one of those things, though, where she panics, and then what I found so interesting was, so she gets an earlier flight back, right? Or does she decide to stay?
She wants an earlier flight back, and then her mom calls and says, don't get on the plane.
What in the world did she find in those
I think
files?
she opened something, and she wanted her to stay there for safety so she couldn't be arrested or something.
That's what I'm thinking, too. There had been something incriminating in there for her.
But my question was she already on the plane?
I don't know.
We don't know.
Yeah.
That's all we had.
Because she left her a message, right? Mm-hmm. And so did she stay with with Colin, or did she get on the plane? And that's what we're left with, and I'm assuming next week we'll get more answers to that. It's crazy, though.
Yeah.
Like, that is something that... Do you think there will be any romantic involvement with Colin?
I hope not, because we just got Johnny.
Like, if she's gonna be stuck in London, though, I mean, she might as well have some fun.
I kind of feel like there's no point to it, though, because if A already ruined her chances of getting into Oxford, why...
There's plenty of schools in London.
True, but I don't know.
Maybe she didn't ruin it. Maybe the professor thought that she was charming.
When you have blood pouring out of your bag and it's like all over his furniture, I'm sure that's
maybe he has like
charming.
a secret. I don't know. I'm just trying to.
He's a vampire.
That's cool.
Don't know about that. I'm not sure I can be like overlook that as a professor. Just like, oh, that's fine. There's blood in your bag. No worries.
On to the next question. Why do you want to go to Oxford?
Yeah, it just seems so bizarre to me. I could see her though if she's stuck in London. One, I would assume she's gonna have a confrontation with Ren of some sort, or Melissa, and two is that will Colin and her at least have some sort of fling. I don't know. I like that Noah, everyone's like, maybe.
I don't know.
I hope so.
Spencer, you never
I just
know.
want someone to have a fling with Colin. He was super cute.
He didn't do it for me. I don't know.
He didn't do it for you?
Me neither.
He didn't do it for me.
I mean, he spoke.
That's all you gotta do for you.
Just
the accent.
Yeah, I was like, no, he was cute too.
Amazing. Okay, so let's move on to the story of Emily and the pageant. I think it's really sweet that she is doing this for Hannah, though she's kind of realizing that it's for herself as well, which I thought was kind of a great turn in the story, that because she's working so hard. Her dancing,
so good,
insane.
Which I'm like, still, why are we just now finding out about her being this like, I don't know, crazy good sexual dancer?
Got some
like
moves.
she does.
Yeah.
She's like working it with all those like sex faces while she's performing.
Crazy.
He likes it.
And what I found crazy was that the advisor is so supportive of her. And then we see it kind of turn 180 once she figures out that she's against the code of conduct. Was that her wording?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
she has to uphold a moral code.
Moral code, and that she thought the board wouldn't like it, right? Or the
sponsors.
The sponsors would drop out. The weird thing that I thought, okay, so Rosewood's not that big of a town. How did this lady not know who she was in this whole case and everything? Like, come on now. It seems like everybody in Rosewood knows about this.
And it's like, to be fair, if it really was because of Allie, then I mean, it's not her fault that she has a friend who was put in jail for murder. Like, it's not like she was involved. It's not like there's been Emily doesn't have anything against her. Emily's never been arrested. Emily's never been in any kind of trouble. So it's like, why is that against the moral code that one of her friends kind of went off the deep end and she's currently innocent? It's like, well, I don't understand how that affects your code.
Sorry, go ahead.
I don't think it's against the moral code, and I think that's like a poor choice if, you know, it is because of her being friends with Allie. I don't think they should have used the moral code thing. But maybe if that is the case, then it should be more of like a safety thing. Because I could understand why they're like, listen, a lot of bad things have happened with you girls because of your affiliation with the situation in the case that maybe it may not be the most safe situation for a bunch of girls to be in like a pageant together with a girl like that, because I do still think something crazy is going to happen.
And
at the
girls tend to get murdered around them. So
But I still couldn't. We had talked about it. I still couldn't decide what
if she was actually upset about her dating a girl or
The way the script was written, at first you were meant to believe that it was because of her sexual orientation, and
I was about to get really mad.
Yeah, I mean, I think I literally was like, are you kidding me? Like, while I was watching the episode. Like, so frustrated in that moment. And then they said this other thing, and it left me wondering, and I don't have an answer to this, whether the advisor truly was doing it for the reason of being associated with Allie, or if it was because of the sexual orientation. And that is something that I absolutely want you all to tweet me about and tweet us all about, because I don't have an answer. And I really hope, like, as awful as either reason is, that I hope that it's because of Allie, because the other is just so unacceptable.
Yeah. So awful.
Yeah.
If that was the case, then I would be like, you need to go to court for this. That's you. They cannot.
Oh, absolutely.
They cannot hold it against you for dating women.
But, you know, I didn't like... Okay, but we know how I feel about Talia, and I don't like her, and I don't trust her.
Yeah.
So Talia going up to that car and, like, trying to blackmail that lady, I was like, you know what? Talia knows exactly what she's doing in this entire episode. From her being, like, separated from her husband and quitting her job and moving until... Emily's like, oh, well, you can stay with me. And immediately Talia's like, oh, that'd be great.
Yeah.
You know what you're doing, crazy.
I thought that was a little strange, too. It was like, all of a sudden, she was separated from her husband. Okay, good job, Talia. You should have done that a long time ago, before you started dating Emily, maybe.
Right.
And then it was like, I was going to stay at a hotel. Well, you can stay with me. Oh, really? Like... She should have been like, no, I can't impose. We're separated. We're not together. This is weird. No.
She's a little manipulator.
Yeah. And then, like, swaying that woman or trying to blackmail that woman into her staying in the pageant, I'm like, that's because you want to have access to that pageant.
I couldn't decide, and I feel like when I was going through tweets about the show, I saw this whole debate about the blackmail. Is that to protect Emily, and you know that she wants her to be able to be in the pageant, and she sees like the personal growth that the pageant is allowing Emily to have, and she wants her to step forward, or to be, as you said, close to the pageant for not so lovely reasons.
I don't think that Talia is A. I will say that.
No.
But I do think that maybe she has some sort of ulterior motives.
Agreed. Absolutely. I'm glad we all agree on
I know. I was going to say, guys.
It's like the first thing we all agree on.
I feel really good about it. It feels really good to have a whole panel agree on something. It doesn't happen all the time at all. I do think, though, I'm going to go back. I want to get into the end of the episode in a second here, but that Talia, it is going to be someone for season 1. I think people are pointing the finger at Talia, or pointing the finger. I heard Andrew earlier today. I do think that it's going to be a season 1 situation. I think we'll disagree on that, probably.
No, I don't think we will.
Okay.
I don't think we will.
Okay.
Well, maybe. I don't know.
She's like, I'm crossing names off my list. You're going down.
Amazing. So the end of the episode, of course, we always see A with the black gloves. And tonight we saw them putting Bibles for the women's correctional facility, and opened to a page about vengeance. And
I wrote them down. Do you want me to read those?
Yeah. If you would like to.
It's like, excuse me, let me get on my Bible read time.
Okay, so it was in the book of Judge. We went back and we checked, and it was verse 35, and it is, vengeance is mine, and retribution. In due time their foot will slip, for their day, the day of their calamity is near, and the impending things are hastening upon them.
Okay, so yeah, we paused and we actually wrote that down.
Which clearly I couldn't read my handwriting.
But I kept thinking about, is something bad going to happen to A? Is that what, it's like a payback, or is all that A is doing going to come back around on A? Or is something that the girls are doing going to, is A coming back. Like, I couldn't figure out what that meant.
I feel like it was saying, hey, vengeance is around the corner.
Yeah, that's what I felt, too.
Okay, and why the money? That was the big...
Here's $20. Go buy your magazines from the... What's it called?
Oh, yeah, the
can of...
Oh, God,
what's it? It starts with C.
Yeah.
Clearly we have a lot of jail knowledge at this table, guys.
I do watch Orange is the New Black. I feel like I should know. The store. The jail store.
The jail store.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
Yeah. I just thought it was so interesting that's where we went to a specific verse that was clearly focused on with the money. It's something that I'm sure will play out by the end of this season. Am I missing anything major? I feel like we covered the episode.
What about her writing Mona on the table?
And that's a great one, yeah.
Told everyone?
Mm-hmm.
Mona told everyone. Told everyone what?
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Who what? What did she...
Told everyone about the blood, maybe?
Told everyone.
Because now everyone knows.
I think that Allie knows more than we know that she knows. Like, I don't just think, I know Allie knows more than we know that she knows. Yeah. And so I want her to talk.
I do too.
Every time it's just like Allie's just sitting there, like every time we've seen her, it's just like sitting there like upset and like curled up and, you know.
I mean, I would be too if you were in that situation, but I do think that she has people on the outside who are giving her information, and it's not the 4 girls. It's like there's others out there for her. I do think she has some power.
Well, like Bethany said, she's very convincing, so.
Yeah, maybe she'll open up to Mrs. Hastings if she decides to help her.
Coach her?
Yeah.
That's a good point. Interesting. You ready for some news and gossip?
Yeah.
AfterBuzz TV News.
This is such a fun one. It's off of Instagram. Paul Wesley, who of course is on Vampire Diaries, had a brainstorming session with Marlene King, and
How cool.
I got so excited about this. His ex is on she plays Melissa on the show, but Marlene is also developing Danielle Vega's book for the big screen. So I don't know what he's gonna do. I know that book has a lot of female characters, so I don't know if he would have a part in that or what they were brainstorming for, but it just made me super excited to, like, I just love him and think that would be such an
Stefan is A.
Oh my god. Amazing.
The mustard, Stefan. Keep going with it, Kristin. You're on the right track.
A lot of people like the mustard.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like the mustard theory is really gaining some traction.
I'm not ready to give that up yet.
Yeah.
That's like, you just wait. If they're like, you remember when Emily got that mustard? That was your hint.
Dream. That would be my dream. If that's how it all comes together in the end, that's going to be amazing.
Play the lottery if that's what happens.
Yeah.
I will. I'll feel like I called it. I'd get $1 million.
And then Sarah Shepard, who of course wrote the Pretty Little Liars books, she has another series of books called The Perfectionists, and that's also being developed into a TV series.
Yes.
And and Marlene King is expected to produce that as well.
Awesome.
So I think I'm in already.
Yeah. Oh, I'm already in.
Okay.
Yep.
So we'll do this panel again.
We'll do this panel again for that show. Yep.
just like, yep, I'm there.
I'm
so. I expect it on ABC Family Soon. Yeah.
Nice.
Pretty much I'm in, so let us know what you're thinking about that. If you want more from Marlene King, she's doing so much right now, developing movies and TV, so it's a good time for her.
Busy woman.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, she's good, so.
She's very good.
She's very good at what she does, for sure. That's kind of it for news and gossip this week. So want to get into predictions?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
I'm a little worried about this one.
It's going to be like 20 minutes, so.
I feel like you really...
I'm so ready to go back and research. It's ridiculous.
Okay, you start then so we can go.
Jump in, yeah.
Okay.
So this is just what I'm gathering from this episode, okay? And, because of, like, things that I've kind of heard, that it's somebody from the very beginning, and, like, people have told me that they have heard that it's a very obvious choice, and things like that, and that the clues have been obvious because of the very last-minute things that they have shown us, and the, like, last-minute clips or whatever, that they all add up, and we all should have known who it was, like, forever ago. Okay, so I don't know if I should tell you guys first who I think, but we're just going to go with this. Okay, so first of all, they mention that Barczyk or A or whatever is a mechanic and works in a shop. So immediately, I'm like, Toby.
Toby.
So this is who I think it is. I think it's Toby. Because we remember, like, back in the day, Toby was doing all that mechanic work, carpeting, etc., etc. We already know Toby has a black hood and all of these things, and association with A and Mona and all of those things. He's a tall man. He stood up, right in that hospital wrapped around in gauze, which was also the burn unit, which he would probably have access and potentially volunteered in when Jenna was burned in that fire. So I believe that he may have relationships to those people. He has access to the prison because he is now a cop. So he can go in and write messages back to Allie. He can give her that little barrel thing with that doll, which we forgot to talk about.
I was about to bring that up.
He has access to Spencer and Spencer's home, so he has the ability to leave that vial of blood in her bag, and also has access to any evidence that has been turned in, also including the vials. And I don't really know the Barczyk thing, but if it is carjacking, he also, being a mechanic, would know how to do that and to infiltrate that whole setup. And that may be it for right now. But
I got really excited, you guys.
We'll clean that up later.
He also has access to Radley.
Yes, exactly. Right. See, okay, you guys, it's Toby.
And here's what I kind of think. And, we saw Toby pretending to be A for a while to be protecting the girls. It's dripping. I can hear it. It's like...
You guys, I'm a hot mess tonight. I'm so sorry.
It's all good. We're just gonna quickly do the rest of our predictions.
That I kind of think that A works is... I can't even focus. The way that I feel like the people who work for A, so like A's henchmen, I feel like no one really knows who A is. So like, let's say I'm A, but I go to Stephanie and I'm like, hey, A told me to give you this message and tell you to do this. So she thinks that A gave me a message, and then so she goes on to someone, so like it's kind of like lost.
No, I got lost in what you were even doing. So yes, exactly.
I think we're gonna come back next week with really strong predictions. I also actually want us next week, the four of us, to predict a possible A, so that we can predict for everyone and maybe start a poll starting next week that we can reveal in the end, which is only a month away, guys.
But so if you want your character to be involved in the poll, tweet us who you think A is and why, and maybe we'll put your character, and your theory in the poll so people can vote on if they think that that's the most likely one.
I totally agree, and we will work on that for next week, and we will see you all back here. And if you are watching this later on, we stream on Tuesday nights at 9 live, and you can find AfterBuzz on all social media at AfterBuzz TV, and you can find me at Stephanie Wenger.
You can find me on Twitter at Kristin Strange and on Instagram at Kristin Aubrey Strange, and tweet us or comment on YouTube so that I will respond, and I know that you guys respond a lot too.
I do.
And you all can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at the Hotshot Dude. Sorry, I'm just laughing because you all have missed our whole
I'm sorry, you guys. I promise I'll behave myself next week.
It's all good. It's just water.
You can find me at Heather Joy Smith, and please don't make fun of me. I'm sorry. I'm sick, you guys.
This has been a good one, though. We'll see you next week, everybody.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
This whole side of my throat was like, like when you have it, I was like, oh my god, and then my eyes started to